Let me pull you in close, computer. Just in case anybody come up in here first. This shit live, cuz. What's today, man? Today's June 9th. Woo! It's June 9th. It's the Meanquil Jackson show, man. We're live Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I got the light in here bright as shit so y'all can see my black ass. Yeah, I'm sitting a little more comfortable tonight. You know, I had this little thing come on Friday. So I did my podcast, Starters on the Bench. I did that with the new arm. And it worked out great. You know, it's better than me having to sit there and hold the shit. If you're tuned in live on Track Talk Radio, you can't hear this part, but you might see it on the video. But they're listening to some old ass Meek Mill. Shout out to Meek Mill. It's that old Rico record featuring Drake. And after that, they got some Pleasure P Under. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna play Pleasure P on this damn station, and I didn't think I was gonna play that shit either. I don't know how that ended up in the playlist, but I guess it's getting played. So shout out to Pleasure P making an appearance on my show. Probably first time, probably will be the last. I said that wrong? Not the first? No, I said it right the first time. First time, and it's gonna be the last. It's a classic record though, so shout out to Pleasure P. It's funny thinking about Old Pretty Ricky. I was listening to Old Pretty Ricky today, and it's funny that Spectacular and Tory Lanez have now I don't think it's really beef because I feel like Spec's being pretty respectful. He's not giving Tory too hard of a time. But there's some issues with, I guess Tory was upset that Akon gave the Locked Up sample to 6ix9ine, which is so crazy to me because I thought Akon, I believe Akon is a real dude. I'm very confused as to why he would give up his classic record and give it to somebody who's literally trying to make snitching famous or has already done so. I don't know where we're at in life. I don't ever remember a time where telling on motherfuckers was cool. But apparently these new kids, like the new generation, this is what they do. I'm saying that because I'm probably at least 10 years older than Mr. 6ix9ine. I refer to him as Teriyaki 6ix9ine. And that reminds me I should have ate before the show. And teriyaki would have been a good option. But either way, apparently Tory has said something like, oh, I can't believe Akon gave the sample up to 6ix9ine or something. And then Spectacular said some shit like, why don't you just steal it like you did? And he named off like a couple of beats that apparently Tory, so at the time, allegedly has stole. Tory did provide receipts for the Yes Sir beat, but Spec got on the video and still came out and said that he feels like Tory, you know, maybe shorted him about $300K, and then, you know, bit these samples, and then, you know, I don't know, it's the whole thing. I thought it was funny though, because it's like they're not really like, it's not beef, but it's interesting because, you know, Spec says he owns his own masters. I'm not doubting that, but it's weird that in 2020 we're seeing Tory Lanez argue with Buddy from Pretty Ricky. And I know Pretty Ricky is, you know, they're still like, they still have classic records. There's no denying that their records are classic. But I'm so confused as to why this is even a thing. And when I heard the song that, you know, Akon obviously gave the sample to 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine on that record is trash. If anything, y'all don't even have to be mad at Akon because Akon played himself by allowing somebody to take his beat or a beat that he performed a classic record on and ruin that shit. I'll never look at Akon's record the same, but I will tell you this. One of the funniest things that I've ever heard on a TV show, or especially on Wilin Out, because it's happened on Wilin Out. One of the funniest things that I ever heard on Wilin Out and on many a TV show, when they used to have, what's Buddy's name? He was kind of the bigger, like, Bigger kind of dude, bald head, milk dud looking dude, Spanky. I think his name is Spanky. And you know how at the beginning of Locked Up, Akon comes on, he says, Akon and Young Jeezy. Well, it was funny because the boy Spanky gets on the show and he said, bacon and grilled cheese. That still makes me laugh. I'm still dying at that. Now, I will say, like I said, Teriyaki 6ix9ine, he ruined that Locked Up beat. I don't think anybody should be upset. And I feel like Tory probably wouldn't have done much better on that beat. I mean, he would have done much better than 6ix9ine, but like, what were you gonna do with a beat that already belongs to somebody else? Because like I said, I hear some of the covers that they be doing, or when they do the samples, and they really don't do a lot better than what they originally did. Just go get a beat. Tory didn't need that beat. I feel like there's other beats that you can sample from. There's no way all y'all were sitting around being like, I have to have this Locked Up sample. It's just been sitting around for like 15 years. I feel like people probably weren't even acknowledging that shit. Forgot Akon even made that record. All right, man. We got I like this. I like that. Work that back. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, hold up. All right, let me cut that record. It's the Mimical Jackson Show. You're tuning in live on Track Talk Radio as well as YouTube. Welcome to the show, man. Today we actually have a show. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be completely honest. We're gonna get this out of the way now. It's still foot on the gas, full throttle. If you believe in any way, shape, or form that what people have doing these past couple weeks is wrong, and what I mean is when I'm talking about speaking up for the rights that Black people deserve, which is crazy because I didn't know that asking to be treated with fucking respect and treated fairly was something that we would have to go crazy for. But it is still foot on the gas 100%. It's Black every day, all day, every day. Like I said, on February 1st, when I had a show, or around early February, I kept telling y'all that we were no longer only going to be repping Black during the month of February for Black History Month. It was going to be Black every single damn day because I am Black every single damn day. Like I said, it's not foot off the gas or none of that shit. We're not resting. Nancy Pelosi and her crew wearing those freaking colors around their neck and taking a knee, or cops on videos crying, taking a knee. None of that type of shit, or any of these folks going out there protesting, or when you see them, these people just get arrested and then, maybe, get a high bail or some shit like that. Don't none of that mean that it's time to take our foot off the gas. We're keeping our feet on your necks until this shit is fixed. And what I mean by fixed is I want to get to a point where when I walk out of my house, I'm not tripping about getting killed by cops. Now, I know that the likelihood of that happening and being, just to like getting it to that level is probably not likely. We'll probably always have to be a bit concerned. But I want to make sure that we push this far enough to the point where cops and people and white folks that have problems with other people of color. I want these MFs to think twice before they try to pull a stunt like they pulled on Ahmaud, or the type of shit that they did to George, because this is all the type of shit that they've been doing for years and fucking years. Now, I also want to say this to all my white friends. Listen, I understand. You're stressed, you're hurting, you're upset, you don't know what to do. And listen, I'm not laughing at your pain. And again, I can sympathize with you, but I want you to understand something. The 2 to 3 weeks worth of stress that you've been dealing with because you have seen all these videos start to surface. You see cops do this shit. You've been to these protests. You see how cops are wilding out, all that little stress that you feel these last couple weeks. Bro, I'm entering into year 34 of that. So if you talk to me, I'm here to console you, help you out, educate you, teach you all of these things. But I need you to understand that I need to get to the point where I can phase myself back into the laughter. So what I need y'all to do is I need you to spend and you take your time, but I want you to spend time getting to the point where you know that this shit happens and you formulate a plan of how you continue to support. Sitting at home, being stressed out, crying, doing all that, that's not doing nothing for you. And you're not saving lives, putting yourself in a state of where now you're completely stressed out and have this debilitating fear now. And like I said, it's only been a couple of weeks. It's not like this type of shit hasn't happened before. And I want y'all to also understand, I'm not dismissing how you feel. This shit sucks, don't it? Listen, I probably just stopped crying the other day because I'm tired of seeing my people on these videos. And I don't want you to think that I just started shedding tears a couple weeks ago. Entering year 34. This shit is crazy. I saw a post going around where it said some shit like, when's the first time a cop ever pulled a gun on you? 8, maybe not. Like I was still single digits. So like the trauma for this type of stuff, and even before that, it starts. Imagine living in a place where like you get pulled over and they're telling you like you need to speed the fuck out of here because we're not playing these games with y'all. Y'all shouldn't be over here. Why do you live here? Why did you move to our town? When you hear people say words like that to you, or like coming home from school, seeing your yard on fire, crazy shit. Like I said, that anxiety that you feel, that stress, all that anger, all those emotions that you're going through based on this. And I know a lot of it has to do with the fact that, like you're having to finally see some of your friends for who they really are, maybe even some of your family members. And I'm going through it too, man. Like I said, I lived in a place where it's hella white people. You want to know how many of those folks were doing anything in the last 2 weeks or really checking on me? I'm talking about just from back home. I ain't talking about my people out here. But it's not many, I'll tell you that much. And it's cool because they don't want to do that. I understand, like maybe it's not their place. Maybe they feel like it's not really for them. But I'm telling you straight like this. This is not one of those situations where we can like maybe halfway be cool. This ain't you picking Republican over Democrat or picking Catholic over Baptist. It ain't none of that shit where we can be like that's just in your one of your little side things. I'm not tripping about that. We can still be friends. No. This comes down to some simple like, look, you're either going to show the respect or we're going to have a fucking problem. It's that simple. And if you have an issue with the fact that myself, especially as a black man, or even people that I know are walking around saying Black Lives Matter and all that, and you feel the need to be like, well, no, it's all lives, then it's fuck you. Don't talk to me. Don't speak to me. If we've been friends, there's family members that listen to my shows after the fact. And I know when we had conversations, y'all was on some, well, what if you would have done this? Well, what if it's fuck you? What if we never speak again? What if I don't invite you to my wedding? What if you never get to meet my kids? If you want to be on this bullshit where you think it's acceptable that people get murdered by police and that you think it's cool that there are people who are protesting, people who are walking down the street just demanding justice and asking for their friends to get treated a little bit better. If you have an issue with that, then you have an issue with me. We can't be friends. We can't be cool. That's just what it is. And I encourage all my white friends who are struggling with this type of stuff, or even, they're not even just white friends. I have black friends too. Some of y'all are struggling to let go. And I know you probably look at me and you go, man, sometimes I wish I was more like you, but I'm kind of glad that I'm not like you. Maybe I'm a little bit too quick to cut people. Maybe I'm heartless. Like I said, I'm entering year 34 of this. So you goddamn right I'm heartless because I'm tired and I want different. And my whole thing with this is that I don't believe that this is like the one time when y'all could finally do something. And when I say y'all, I mean white folks. Y'all could have fixed this fucking years ago. And obviously, when I say y'all, people who are watching my show, it's not you specifically. It's not Chad in Iowa who is responsible for this. It's nothing like that. But it's your parents, it's their dusty ass fucking parents. They're responsible. Even before that. This shit is crazy, man. So, like I said, I'm trying to shift back to where we get back to being funny on this show. I want to make fun of things like the fact that, you know, Miss My Neck, My Back and Miss Trina are still beefing after all these years. And Kai is one of the funniest people. I'm glad that we have internet now, so like we can watch how they entertain each other within this beef. I love it. This is the type of shit that I want to get back to. I want to get back to cracking jokes, even making fun of myself, making fun of the fact that my hair has been looking rough, so I got the hat on. Lord Jesus, help me. But yeah, I wanna be. I mean, like I said, we're not done. It's foot on the gas until the end. But I want to get to the point where I can spend more of my free time just going back to doing fun shit, or even when I'm engaged in conversations, having fun within those conversations, rather than us having to always be in this space where we feel fucked up in the head because we have to see another video. I want my sanity back. Like I said, year 34. Fuck, man, I turned 34 this year. Every day above ground is an absolute blessing. I've been exceeding expectations since day one. And definitely every day since the first time a cop pulled a gun on me. I used to tell my parents that I probably would not make it to live to see 18 years old. When I hit 18, I was like, oh, this shit is lit. It's not really not that bad, but I probably won't make it to 21. Made it to 21. The best that I could do is, give myself a pat on the back, have a blue moon at a Hooters in Gainesville, Florida, and sit with two of my white friends. Great people. They're people that do not tolerate the bullshit that we have going on. Yeah, I got the light bright in here because I want the light bright. I want to feel like, I want to know what it feels like to be under the bright lights. That's why I had this shit turned up all the way. Gotta get used to this shit. Finna take it to the top if we don't lose ourselves to all of this insanity that's going on. Shit. Yeah, man. Like I said, 25, I was like, oh shit, we make it to 25, it's lit. Exceeding expectations. Like I said, I'll go back to the fact that I know that people around me are struggling. I know that the stress is tough. But I tell y'all these, these things, even if it's just one-on-one texting or even on this show. I tell you this stuff to let you know, y'all gonna be all right. And I'm not saying that in a dismissive way to your feelings. I'm telling you that because I want you to be confident. This shit sucks. It's fucking hard. But you really do need to look at it and be like, fuck, man, 2 weeks of this is killing me. Imagine what my friends go through. And it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to feel how you feel, because goddamn, you should feel it. And it's good that you're feeling it because it means that your moral compass is good. And it means your fucking head is screwed on right. And it means that you don't want to be in a place where you have to tolerate this thing. The fact that it does stress you out and put you in that place, that's a good thing. It makes you uncomfortable. You have to talk about it. You have to address it. You got to face that shit head on. But like I said, I just want you to remember, people who have been dealing with this for, it's 24/7, 365. Welcome to our world. So like I say, everybody should be at a point where this is one of those situations where people are either with you or they're not. There is no negotiating when it comes to this. Zero. And if you think there is, then you're really not an ally. If you sitting over here being like, well, I mean, maybe. Nah. Well, what about second chances? And what about giving someone an opportunity to grow and learn? Yeah, I'm all about that. I think that's an absolutely amazing idea. But with this one, I want you, if you are the one that I have to then cut because I'm having to question where you're at morally and, whether or not you actually believe in the power of people and, believe in right versus wrong. If I end up cutting you, then I expect you to take it upon yourself to go educate yourself. And then you can come back to me. And I'm not saying you need to prove to yourself. Not necessarily have to prove to me because I've probably already made my mind up about you. If you want to come back and be like, look, man, I was wrong before. And I went, I had some conversations and now I learned some things. I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. And I'm proud of you. But you probably still won't be in my good graces because this type of stuff is absolutely crazy. You only need to watch one or two of these videos to be like, Jesus, I would never, ever want to be treated like that. And then that right there should be enough for you to be like, all right, yeah, people are getting treated like that. Nope, not standing for that. That's not cool at all. It's not a hard thing. But you got a lot of people that are like, they're iffy, like on the fence about it. You can't be on the fence about this stuff. All this stuff is wrong. It's crazy. All right. I did think that it was absolutely hilarious that in New York City, this is in New York City. We see these videos. We see them popping up. A lot of some of them, like the craziest of like like police videos where you're seeing them abuse and hurt protesters, so on and so forth. Some of the worst of those videos are coming from New York City. So I see this video and it says New York police boss. And right when it said New York police boss, I was like, that's an interesting job title. I didn't know they just gave like boss is just in your job title now. But basically, Buddy did like a press conference and he's very upset because he feels as if, the media is portraying him and his friends or his coworkers or, whoever these people are to him. He feels like they're being portrayed. Oh, here it is. I found it. New York police boss addresses media. Stop treating us like animals and thugs and start treating us with some respect. Now I'll say, listen, if Buddy is looking for a career in acting, I think he could be a good fit for that. Give him a dialogue. He seemed like he flowed through it pretty seamlessly. Everything he said, like when I heard it, I was like, this guy sounds like an idiot because we literally watch, and I don't know if these people work under him, but we literally watch people that wear that badge, they wear that uniform, and they represent the same team he represents. We watch them literally go out every single day and abuse people every day, even before all this shit. You know how many videos per day are put online with New York City cops and their unfortunate interactions with civilians? They're all crazy. This guy is on here talking about we're getting a bad rep. Y'all are treating us like animals and thugs. You need to start treating us with respect. And he didn't mention anything about the brutality that the police department that he works for puts on their civilians. He kept just saying that we're not a representative of Buddy in Minnesota, talking about Derek's bitch ass who killed Mr. Floyd, R.I.P. George. But he keeps saying like we're not this guy. I'm like, yeah, but you're your own department. You're these MS that we see on these videos every day. Like they're all over the place. We have video of a New York City cop walking down the street and then just throwing some white girl to the ground just because she's just near where people are protesting. I don't even know. Yes, she was out there obviously probably protesting, but like she's so off to the side and so close to the sidewalk that it's crazy how far he has to go out of his way to throw her on the ground. New York City cop. So I just gave you one example. There's so many videos. So Buddy's up here and he's getting hyped. And he's got 50 or 60 cops standing behind him. They're all in their mask and their civvies, because I'm sure they were like, let's not go in our uniforms because we want them to understand that just like them, we're people. And you're right, you are. You absolutely are. But here's what my problem is with it. So even just in the last 2 years, I'll say this. You have people, African-American cops who work for this same police department that tried to sue the police department because they were being ordered to, meet certain types of quotas and go into specific communities and make arrests and do all these things, do faulty, shady crap. They've been accused of that. They're literally probably still in an ongoing lawsuit with people who actually work there stating these things. So not only are the civilians and the people in the city complaining, you have people who work there also complaining. It wasn't like it was one guy. It wasn't two guys. It's a whole busload of people involved in trying to bring light to the situation that they as officers are being asked to do things and being directed to do things that you're not supposed to do. Then this fucking goofball, and it's funny because I feel like I don't want to get too disrespectful, but looking at him, he just looks like the dad of all the kids I went to high school with. Really short, really fired up, but not really saying a whole lot of anything. And the whole time I'm watching the video, I'm like, yo, are there any brothers in the crowd or even any sisters in the crowd? And when you're watching the video, you can't really see any. But then at the last moment, there is one guy that you can see, but he's just conveniently placed behind a whole gang of white guys. So it's very interesting, but he looks uncomfortable. And that's what makes it weird and I think probably what made him uncomfortable is when Buddy said, stop treating us like animals and thugs and start treating us with some respect. And he referenced that they do all these wonderful things. And he said something like, what did he say? 375 million interactions with people. Or he said some crazy number there. I was like, bro, you don't have that data. Where your paper at? You don't even got no goddamn paper in your hand. I know you don't have that data. You just made that number up off the top of your head. 375 million. I probably just made that up. He probably didn't even say that. I don't know what he said. He said some crazy ass number. And it was way too high to have ever had real data on it. I'd like to see it. I wanted to see him hold up a paper. I got it right here. I'm reading it off. It didn't even sound like it came from somebody who was like, yeah, and here's the data. It literally sounded like, when you be in a conversation with your friends and they're like, oh, it was 20. You're like, no, brother. It was like 17,000 of them things, bro. It was like 3. That's how he sounded. This guy personally probably had one good interaction with one person all year, and he'd been hanging on to that. He'd been hanging on to that like a small child stuck to a nipple. He just sucking. This guy just sucks. But it's crazy to me to think that it's like, bro, do you watch yourself? He's blaming the media. He says the news is out to vilify them and this and that. I'm like, bro, it's not, no one's making it up. We're just catching y'all on tape, not doing the right thing. Just do the right thing. It's not that hard. And then you don't have to come up here and give some corny ass speech. And then they were all clapping for him and doing whatever. So these are probably the guys that are going out on their shift tonight to kick the shit out of people, probably. Because they're upset. So listen, if you in New York, and all my people who listen to this show that's in New York, when y'all watch these videos, hopefully you haven't already been, dropped off at the docks or some shit like that. But y'all stay inside, man, because these cops is out for blood. But I will tell you, New York also gives us some of the best content you've ever seen when it comes to people talking shit to the police. I saw one video today. The guy he was making fun of was hella short. And when I say short, I mean, what's Buddy name off Game of Thrones? The little one, Peter something. Buddy was like barely taller than Pete. Shout out to Peter Dinklage, I think is his name. Shout out to Peter Dinklage, great actor. I didn't like Game of Thrones, Pete. Sorry, but I'm just glad you wasn't the one on there banging your sister, because that's weird. I don't know. That's weird. But anyway, Buddy was barely taller than Peter. And he was getting called like a dickhead or something, getting cussed out. You know how New York people do. They call him dickhead, pussy, all that type of stuff. Call him all these names and tell me why. And it's like one of those times where you see just like a whole line of them just like in front of a building, like they're guarding, like, I don't know what they're doing. They're just like patrolling a corner or something, trying to, like let people know that we got police presence in the area, respect, whatever. Y'all do your jobs. I love how Buddy even said, listen, I know y'all got to do y'all jobs, but he kept saying, but me and you, one-on-one, so I'll kick your ass. He was clowning this dude. Tell me why Buddy got mad and like pulled out his nightstick. Like he was finna, like they're about to run it one-on-one. I'm like, see, this is the problem. If you're, because I'm going to tell you something, what I think is crazy. So think about this. You go to a sporting event and think about the things you hear yelled at other players. And we fully expect all of these players to stay in control. No matter what is said to them, you are, as a player, you're expected to never react. No matter what level of sports it is, you're expected to never react. But like with police, how are the expectations so much lower? It's crazy to think that I wonder if all those guys wouldn't have been there to hold him back. Do you think he strikes him? I think it's more than likely that he does. I think it's likely that he does. All right, let's go down to Georgia. I hope that, by the end of today, things were different. But I know when the day started, apparently there was already some issues with voting in Georgia. Voter suppression in Georgia. It's a real thing, people. Apparently there were people out there early in the morning ready to cast their vote because they really want to make sure that they are there to, help with the changes that are ahead. Listen, all you racist people, it's going to change. You're done here. We are done with you. So they're trying to get out there so they can go vote and do all the things that are absolutely necessary to, hopefully help shape their world in the coming months. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Here we go. Here's a tweet. Someone says, I've been in line since 7:45 a.m. Nowhere near the front. I guess I'll take a personal day off work because my black ass is not leaving until I vote. I like it. There were people saying, when they showed the line was crazy. But, they had a lot of people who were out there like letting people know, like, they're trying to like run some funny business and trying to say the shit wasn't working and, telling people to just go home and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, nah, fam, that's what they want you to do. Polls in Georgia are open. We're seeing a repeat of 2018 voter suppression efforts. Voting machines are down in Atlanta. This makes a great case for mail-in voting. And why? Exactly. Trump hates it so much. Vote today. Do not let your vote be suppressed. That's just crazy. Yeah, I think they're hoping that people would just get out of the line and go the fuck home. This is crazy. So it said 4 out of the 7 largest voting precincts in the city of Atlanta currently had this was this morning when I saw this. So this is probably about 8 or 9 hours ago. It said that they had 0 working machines at the time. Damn, this is crazy. Well, again, I'm not surprised. I don't think anyone should ever be surprised when you hear about these things where like government's doing funny stuff, trying to finesse people, because that shit is real, bro. This is what people be doing. Like they want to make sure that they can, they got to make things fit the way that they want them to fit. A lot of this shit just ain't fitting. Honestly, now that there's just momentum of protesting, I wouldn't be surprised if there's people they probably were anyway. There's probably people out there right now mad as fuck. Why didn't these machines work this morning? Had to stay in line for 9 hours just to vote. Y'all trying to play me? They're out there protesting. Say the wrong thing, everything on fire. And I think it's because we're tired of the old regime. People are tired of having the wool pulled over their eyes. They're tired. That's all it is. Very tired. Let's get to some funny stuff. So we saw this video the other day. This white lady at a gas station. She's giving this young Latino girl a hard time about something. She's telling her to go back to her country, doing all this. And she got too close. She put her hands on the girl, and the girl slapped the shit out of her. So, you guys know how I love fake ass apologies. And this is the best one this week because it doesn't even come from the person who started this shit. Apparently, the husband decided to speak out. Let's see. The husband of a woman whose racist tirade at a Phoenix gas station went viral is giving another side of the story. Bob Herring is a local lawyer, and he claims that there are mental health concerns with his wife. Listen, fam. I saw the tape. She looks fine. I don't want to hear shit about mental health because she looked like she was fully capable to not only address that woman, but address the person who was filming. You know, she was in there telling people to shut up, be quiet, do all these things. You got enough mental capacity to try to hit people with the go back to your own country thing. Then after you get, some sense smacked into you, all that crying and all that and acting like you were so shocked. Because as soon as she got slapped, she did the, oh my God, I am appalled. She ran out the fucking door. And now all of a sudden her husband's claiming she has mental problems. Yeah, you goddamn right. Because she thought it was acceptable to walk up upon somebody at a gas station, a person she does not even know, who's way younger than her, probably more agile. I mean, you really was thinking you were going to say some crazy racist shit to some girl and that she wasn't going to slap fire from you? I love the video too because old girl, her man is with her. And you could tell that he knows. Hey, he knows. He know exactly who his girl is. And you know what? Because of everything that's going on, the one thing that he did not do, at least in the video that I see, he does not give this lady a warning. Because why would you? You're literally witnessing the racists take care of themselves. And it happens by the fact that they won't shut the hell up, close their mouths, and mind their own damn business and walk out. He knew exactly who his girl was. As soon as lady got close, he knew that his girl was going to slap fire from her. And sure enough, she did. So if I ever date again, I'm fully expecting that the girl that I'm with will slap fire from a racist if a girl approaches me talking about go back to your own country. But first of all, I'm going to say, fam, I'm not going back to the UK anytime soon. Let's just visit. Y'all know me. I was from a military family, so I was born in London. But if not, I probably would have just been born here and would have been an American asshole like the rest of you. And that's what I still am. Jesus. Still am an asshole. An American one, too. But yeah, that shit was funny. So her husband gets up there, and a lot of people believe that he's only giving the apology because he wants to save face. He works at a law firm. You can't have people working for the dude who we've seen a video of your wife getting slapped up at the gas station for being a racist. We literally saw some dude in the MLS lose his contract because his wife went online and tweeted a bunch of racist shit. Now you lose your job if your spouse is racist. Bro, if you're seeing it happen all fucking week, like anybody that's racist, fired. You want to be racist? Go to jail. You missed in disappointment? Go right to jail. We have the best patients in the world. Parks and Rec, hilarious. Yeah, man, these people out here going crazy. Fake ass apologies. I think Buddy only starts shedding tears because he probably already know. Fuck, man. He probably has like a bunch of minority clients too, and they probably saw that video and was like, "Yo, ain't that Brian's wife right there getting smacked up?" Or Bob, why I call you Brian? I don't know, bro. You look like, you know why I called him Brian? Because Dumbledore's middle name is Brian. This guy looks like Dumbledore, but only with the stash. AKA he's a white dude with white hair and white facial hair. I'm going to be honest with you. That's why I said that. But like I said, I'm always in Harry Potter mode. But yeah, Brian, aka Bob Harrion. Now his real name is actually Brian. I've renamed him Brian, and his is also known as is Bob, which was his actual name prior to me starting this. But Brian starts crying. That rhymed, did that on accident. But Brian started crying. He's shedding tears. He's talking about his wife has mental illnesses. Yeah, we know. And she, tried to test out that mental illness against girl at the gas station. Girl at the gas station slapped the shit out of her. What, Brian? You're not telling us nothing that we don't know. Get your girl some help, bro. Or if you're that concerned, and if her mental illness is that strong, maybe drop her off at a facility and then visit on weekends. I don't know what to tell you, bro. All them little fake ass tears you said, don't nobody feel bad for you. Plus, our needs have already been satisfied in this situation because we watched your wife act like an asshole and then we watched her get smacked hard as hell. I don't even got nothing clever to say. Literally, she got too close and she got smacked up. That's it. I imagine a gavel and a thing right here, and I hit it's over. All right, it's done. Let's see, who do we got? The U.S. is officially in a recession. Duh. Everybody lost their fucking jobs. Nobody has no money. Like, duh. I mean, Jeff Bezos not in a recession. You think all that money that he made? I know he's in the comments clapping people who are sending racist emails since he put Black Lives Matter on the website. But Jeff, if the Black Lives Matter, donate $300 million to black people. Jeff can literally begin the process and pay for like half the country, if not all the country's reparations. Jeff has that type of bread. Run the money, bro. Shout out to Mr. Bezos, though. He really is in the comments creeping, clapping people via email. You know what's crazy, though? It's so crazy to me that people are really emailing somebody like him. And I'm sure they're doing it to Ben and Jerry's. They're doing it to Seth Rogen. I'm sure they're doing it to anybody who's white, who has stood up on behalf of black people. It's crazy to think that just like the thought of seeing 3 fucking words with a hashtag in front is putting people in a space where they're willing to go out of their way to make videos doing crazy shit. They're emailing their favorite retailer, and cussing them out, going crazy. You're talking about a company just posts Black Lives Matter, and then you're like, I think not. And then Kathy or Karen and all Peter and Brad and all these fucking people all in their feelings. Like, for what? This really bothering y'all that much? Say it with me. It's easy. If you can say I love you, you can say Black Lives Matter. Right? I don't know, man. I don't get what the deal is with these people acting crazy. Speaking of crazy, they're trying to say, I saw a video earlier where it's video footage from before the 75-year-old man in Buffalo got pushed on the ground and basically left for dead. There's video of him interacting with people who are actually down there protesting. And they're saying that when they were having conversations with him and asking him, why he was down there, what his motivations were and all that type of stuff, his response was, I'm down here for fun. I'm not going to say that I don't feel bad for him, because you don't ever want to see anybody fall and hit their head like that and then be stepped over. Like, you remember how Allen Iverson did Tyronn Lue in the 2001 NBA Finals, that iconic shot of him just stepping over the nigga after he hit the three-pointer on him? That's pretty much what the cops did to him. Let Buddy fall, and then you hit him with the step over, walk away. Like, that's disrespectful shit given the situation. But now I will say, if Buddy went down there hoping to have fun, he had that shit coming. Because nothing about that shit was fun. Nothing about it is meant to be fun. This shit is not for fun, bro. That almost would tell me that his old ass is probably he thinks that this shit is a joke. He's 75 years old. He thinks this shit is a joke. What do you think he thought about it back then when he was younger and when we didn't have the voices that we have now? He probably thought it was a joke back then too. Like I said, I can feel bad and have some sympathy because I never want to see anybody just, crack their skull open or nothing like that. And we pray that he has a speedy recovery and he makes it. But I hope he learned his lesson. My man, if you really went down there because you were hoping for fun, you went to the wrong thing. This was not a putt-putt golf company or some bullshit like that. It's people out there walking around, putting their lives on the line to protect the lives of others. It was not fun. That's why, and even they were mad at him because they're like, bro, you really telling us that? We're not here for that. He's literally looking black people in their face, telling them that he was down there for fun. So don't say shit to me after you hear this and I'm on here being like, I don't give a shit about this old dude. Don't say nothing to me, bro. Because like I said, he went down there hoping that he was going to have some fucking fun. And we're down there protesting for our lives. Show some respect, man. Like I said, I feel bad that he ended up falling, but now at this point, like I hope you make it, but hope you learned your lesson, fam. I bet you won't do that bullshit again. Who else we got? All right, man. I'm going to get to what I really want to talk about today. I'm going to close out with, we're going to show some respect and definitely put some respect on the names of Tamla, Brianna, obviously George and Ahmad, and many, many others, but Tamla for sure, and Brianna for sure, because I'm very upset about what's not happening for Brianna. Now, if maybe my information is not up to date and maybe they have arrested these fucking goofs, please let me know. But as far as I know, the people who murdered Breonna Taylor have not been arrested. Also, the people that Tamla Horsford spent the night with, these white folks that she had an adult sleepover with and then she ended up dying at their house, I don't think they've been arrested either. And her death has now been ruled a homicide. So we got to get into that. And obviously, Manuel Ellis, shout out. This one's local. This is down in Tacoma. Have the officers involved in that situation been arrested? Please tell me. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. But anyway, before we get to that, let me get into this. So I don't know who this girl is. Her name is B. Simone. I don't know what she does in life. I guess she's famous. Shout out to this young black queen with very, very thick eyebrows. And when I say thick, I mean her eyebrows are as thick as Ashanti's sideburns. Just to get, a picture for reference. God damn, these eyebrows are thick. Anyway, you know what? I don't even feel bad saying that because I feel like she was being hella disrespectful. I'm going to say this. So this young lady said that she, hold up, because I'm getting a little bit comfortable. She said that she won't date a man with a 9-to-5. She says she only wants to, and this is a quote, she won't date a man with a 9-to-5 because he won't understand my lifestyle. Like I said, I don't know what she does. And if she's a celebrity, I assume her lifestyle is trying to do everything you can to get in front of the people. That way you can maintain status and fame. You're trying to shop. You're trying to fly private. You're trying to have expensive dinners. And you're trying to put yourself in front of people who can potentially put you in some of your, your ideal like dream projects and shit that you want to be a part of. I get it. I totally get it. But why can't a dude who works a 9-to-5 help you with that process? Also, you only want to date people that are famous? Like what are really your options? Because if you're not famous, obviously a lot of people, they are entrepreneurs, they're working, but like what's really the difference? That person got to work all fucking day too, so that way they can maintain their status. Like, what is really the difference between a 9-to-5 and like just a person who just works all hours of the evening? Like, if people want to make time for you based on the fact that they love you and care about you, they'll do so. And if Buddy's working 9 to 5 and he's taking care of you, holding you down, doing all the things, like, why does it matter? I don't know. But I don't know. She wasn't like rude. It was not like she was like, oh, these brothers are like garbage. They're dusty, da 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 da. But I don't know, man. She's kind of acting like she's like somebody that's like crazy famous or some shit like that. I'm like, girl, I didn't even know who you were. Your eyebrows are too thick. Chill out. Because that's when people want to be like, well, you know what, man? Like, listen, 9 to 5. Listen, the 9 to 5 is cool, but like, we're not trying to mess with somebody whose eyebrows is freaking the size of an anaconda. What's up? See how crazy that sound? I just said your eyebrows are about as thick as an anaconda, because that's what that shit look like. But that's crazy as hell. Just like you saying that you don't want to mess with somebody that's a 9 to 5 nigga. But at the same time, that's her preference. I love the comments though. So here, I'm going to read a couple of these too. I'm going to read some nice ones. So B Simone saying she only wants to date a CEO and not a man with a 9 to 5 is very problematic and fetishy. Being a CEO doesn't equal rich. In fact, most businesses aren't profitable until their second or third year. A lot of people that work a 9 to 5 have more money and time than a CEO. Thank you, Donye Taylor, at Donye Taylor _. Shout out to Donye. And then we got, here's another one. B Simone is painfully ignorant. And this is what happens when you come up off the internet. You don't really learn much, I guess. Thank you, Jigga Man. At Jiggy J2. That's J with 2 Y's. And then we have somebody at Ari Got Juice. My 9 to 5 got me making $80K straight out of college at 22. So B Simone can kiss my ass. Everybody doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. There's nothing wrong with that. No, you're absolutely right. I need to find the other one where somebody said B Simone got no room to talk when she came up off selling like knockoff lip gloss or some shit like that. Bro, I was in tears, man, because some of these people, they legitimately forget where they come from. They get a little bit of internet fame and they start acting like they're like above all of these like things. Like, come on, girl. I like I said, I don't know who she is, but I can't imagine that she's been famous for too long. And I imagine that there probably was a time when she was broke and she was dusty, you know, and like this shit happens. Like, I'm sure she's probably one of those girls who anytime like a guy was like, oh, I ain't fucking with a broke bitch if she ain't got her nails and her eyebrows done. She probably was hurt every time by that. Let me stop. Because my eyebrows is not. Let me stop. But you know what? I'm a man. Mine is supposed to look like garbage. Or maybe they're not. I don't be knowing. But anyway, I thought that was interesting because as somebody that works I guess technically I'm classified as kind of working like a 9 to 5. I mean, it's not because like I don't even view my full-time job as a full-time job. Like I view this and like these shows and like, you know, the fact that I have to like, not have to, I choose to do it because this is what I want to do. Like this is what I view as like my little 9 to 5 gig, entertainment. And somebody called me an entrepreneur today. I thought that was weird because I don't feel like I fit in that classification. I'm just a dusty nigga with a microphone and a laptop that works. Still killing though. Listen, man, real quick plug, man. If you guys need photos done, you need to reach out to Markel. Markel does the dopest photos. That's who called me an entrepreneur. Shout out to Markel and Markel Photography. What is it? Markel.eg.photography or something like that? I bet that's it. If not, I'll probably get a message that says, man, fuck you. That ain't my handle, dog. I'm gonna be like, it's all right. I already said it in this live. It doesn't matter. And I'm just playing. Looks like that might have gotten our start on Wilin Out. Oh, wait, who got their start on Wilin Out? I don't know. Somebody's in here texting me about Wilin Out. Wilin Out used to be funny. I don't really think that's just that funny anymore. But yeah, anyway, you need photos done. Go to markel.eg.photography. That's her little handle. Follow her IG or something. Oh, B Simone was on Wilin Out. Okay. But okay, so she's on Wilin Out. What is she famous for though? Like, what does she do now? Because people who go on Wilin Out don't stay famous. They have to have another side hustle because Wilin Out not paying the bills full time forever. They pay Nick Cannon's bills, but everybody else got to have a side hustle. That's crazy. I didn't know she was on. I really haven't watched Wilin Out in some years. Like I said, after like I watched it in the very beginning when it was like Spanky, the white dude from Step Up, and Step Up 2, not Channing Tatum, Step Up 2. And he was also the white dude, Rob something. He was like a dancer type of dude. He was also on You Got Served. Then there was some like Indian girl who was stupid funny, or maybe she was Latino. I don't remember. She was hella funny. Who else? They had a whole busload. Like, this was like back in the day, man. I'm telling you, when a lot of people who are super famous now were kind of starting to go on that show, and they weren't. I mean, they were stars and celebrities, but you know, some of them definitely not like the way they are now. But no, I don't be watching Wildin' Out, man. That shit not that funny. Some of it is funny, but like DC Young Fly is funny. The young lady, I follow her. Is her name Justine or Justina Valentine or something? She's hella funny, and she got bars too. White girl with red hair. Yeah, she be spitting. I don't really know anybody else is on there. There's like everybody that's on there now is just they're like internet famous people, and I don't follow all of these people. And sometimes their little internet careers they happen and then they freaking fall apart so quick. Like I never really see like what they do. I end up seeing them on like a clip on Wildin' Out, and they just look like random people standing up there. Half these people, I don't know what they be doing, but I guess they're all internet famous. But shout out to them, man. Nick Cannon helping them out, and he's feeding people. So shout out to Nick. Oh, let's see. Do I want to drag Tucker Carlson? I mean, I do, but I meant, do I want to drag him right now, or do I want to? I want to wait because we're about to go into the second hour of the show. I think we're gonna wait. We're gonna take a small, quick break. And after the break, because they're going to listen to some Sock It To Me by Missy Elliott. We got some Waiting on the Moon by Dream, maybe some So Beautiful by Music Soul Child. Classic records. Classic. I'm going to let the music play for a little bit. And we're going to take a short break because I'm actually going to adjust this light because this movie just got good, but I can't really see it because it's just bright as fucking here. So I'm going to turn the light down. I'm going to set the moon right. What song is that? I don't remember. I think that's that Justin Timberlake. It's on the end of one of those records. But anyway, I'm going to turn the lights down a little bit, get the fan going. They're going to get on this music, and then we're going to get back into the rest of the show. We got some. Let me tell you what's up next. Let me move this. Let's see. We got the dragging of Tucker Carlson. I'm going to make fun of Buddy who, and I'm not saying his name because he don't deserve that shit, but Buddy who killed our man George Floyd, his lawyer says that the public is at fault because we didn't step up and do anything. That's fucking crazy. Florida, always and forever the asshole of America. And I'm going to tell you why. And then we're also going to get into, we got Mark Wahlberg has made the show today. I can't wait to talk about Marky Mark. I knew it. Yeah, it's on the end of that until the end of time. Yeah. And then he comes, I'm going to set the moon right. I don't know the rest of it after that. All right, man. We're going to take a short break and we're getting back into the show, man. This shit is lit. Meemco Jackson Show. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays, live. YouTube. Track Talk Radio. Track Talk Radio. It's lit. All right. Let me turn this mic down, and then we're going to get into it. Or not the mic. I mean the freaking light, man. I the mic. There we go. Get a little ambiance. All right, man. It's hot as flames in here, as usual, because I'm in here. Feeling good, looking good. like I was saying earlier, man, I'm trying to get back to my, the old me, have my spirit good. We had so much shit just happen and it's happened to all of us, and everybody has like their respective things, plus the shit we're all dealing with as a fucking group, which is so crazy. And like I said, I know everybody has stuff, but I am to the point where I'm tired of dealing with the stuff, and I'm ready for some fun and some more comedy, just good shit. You know what I'm saying? If I want to joke, I'm ready to get back to kicking it with my friends and just being in good spirits when we talk to people. But lately it hasn't been that. Everybody's been, on this bullshit, especially fucking me. I've been irritated as hell, and freaking every show has been, another rant by me about how I don't really like how my people are being treated, or I'm complaining about something, man. We got to get this show back to being funny as hell. I don't know. So I'ma set the moon right until the end of time. That's such a classic record. What's JT's best record though? Because he's got a lot of cuts, man. I can't even really think like what's my favorite JT record? Summer Love is a good one. Spaceship Coupe is a good one. Cabaret is a good one. Amnesia is a good one. I really love Amnesia. That's a classic record. Let's see. Obviously, Until the End of Time is lit. Fuck. Crimea River is dope. I mean, that's a record I feel like is hella underrated. People slept on that. I know that shit kind of made him hot, but I feel like when I say slept on it, I mean just when you think of like his catalog, I feel like that's not one that people immediately go to, at least not people that I know. But I also feel like that's because he's just continued to stack his catalog. And we're like years past freaking Crimea River, but that was the cut. I'll never forget we had that show. Why was James? James was James was going in on JT, man. I get it. I know people say that he's one of those, he's a culture vulture. So I don't know, man. I'm not really seeing it. I feel like JT just somebody that just had talent. And I feel like people wanted to fuck with him. I don't feel like he's somebody, I don't know. I've just never felt like he's somebody that's been like going out of his way to finesse black people for opportunity. Has he adopted the swag? Yeah. But like, have black people let him adopt the swag? Yeah. Let him do that. Listen, you know why I can say that? Because there's tons of people that we can name who have tried to do it and we've been like, no. Slim Jesus was somebody that like they were trying to make that hot for a little bit, and black people were like, no, not happening. Get the fuck out of here. Like, we have the power to like really shut these people down. So if there are people that we feel like now are, what can we really say? We've already allowed them to stay so long and hang out within our culture home. They've just been here. That's like letting like telling somebody, oh yeah, come stay at the crib. But then your cousin is like, I don't like this nigga. Bro, he's been here for 6 fucking weeks. Like, it doesn't, at this point, it doesn't matter. He's been paying rent. He's good. He's good with me. He's gonna stay. That's how JT is, bro. He's basically paying rent within the black community. I don't know how. That probably don't really be working, but I don't know. I'm just not seeing it maybe the way. And like I said, I'm somebody that if you can present me with stuff, you can completely change my mind. And not if I feel like, what you're telling me is legit, and I feel like what I've been saying is wrong, I'm not above being open-minded. And maybe he is, but I just have not, I'm not somebody who has seen how he is doing that. Because I feel like people accepted him. And I'm one of those believers, like, if y'all are gonna let people come in, you're gonna let them stay and hang out after they spend years making money and all that. We can't just be one day be like, nah, you know what? You've been appropriating the culture, bro. I'm like, yeah, but we fucking let them do that shit. Like I said, we know the power that we have. People can't forget about that. Back to Slim Jesus. Y'all remember when Slim Jesus popped up? That shit, I thought that was gonna be lit though. I kind of was rooting for that shit. I don't know why, because it was so fucking stupid. I just wanted it to happen. I like to see stupid shit like that happen. Like, could you imagine if like right now we were getting like a Black Lives Matter video from Slim Jesus? And can you imagine all the white grandmas who'd be like, oh my God, I saw the most wonderful video today, and it was by this young man, and I really want to praise him for taking the step to really affect change. And Shirley, what was his name? What was the young boy's name? Slim. It was Slim Jesus. Oh, such a wonderful young man that he is, doing all he can for the blacks. I love it. They would be praising the fuck out of him. And they would take the Slim off his name. They would literally probably chant Jesus for him if he was doing a Black Lives Matter post. But you know what? He don't have no career because we didn't want him to have a career. Y'all wanted JT to be famous. So you can't come back now and say that he's, appropriating or whatever. Shop stealing and stealing everything. We can't say that. I don't know, maybe we can. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. I'm just telling you, if you get in my car and I got the shit banging, don't go into some fucking dialogue about how he's stealing culture, because I'm just going to turn this shit up and I'm going to drop you off at the fucking bus stop. You know what's crazy? Today feels like Thursday to me, and it's definitely not. It's definitely not. And I don't really like that. I need it to be Thursday. But now when I think about it, like think about how the last few weeks have gone, I no longer am somebody that's like, oh, I can't wait to get to the weekend. Nigga, what the fuck for? All of these days are the fucking same. And I know shit is starting to open up. Like, shout out to some of my friends today. They're talking about getting hair done, nails done, massages, the whole shit, bang, bang. Only thing I really care about is the damn gym. That don't seem like it's ever opening up. We're in a modified phase 1. So that means we're probably never getting to phase 3, which is when the gyms were scheduled for 50% capacity. 50% capacity. Phase 3. We're in a modified phase 1. My nigga, Seattle's never leaving phase 1. They're going to keep modifying it. Phase 1.3, 1.4. It's going to be like those garbage ass Apple updates. You got software 13.72. We just updated. We put bug fixes in. That's what they're trying to do to us. They're putting bug fixes in, right? All right, man, we got about 4 minutes left of music, and they're currently listening to Musiq Soulchild. Musiq Soulchild. So let me see. Where do we feel like Musiq Soulchild is somebody who's worthy of potential GOAT status within R&B music? I genuinely want to know. I feel like Musiq Soulchild has one of those voices that's forever classic. Some of his songs are forever classic. But I don't truly feel like he's somebody that can hang with when you think of like, is this person who's better or they're greatest or is this person the greatest? I don't feel like his name could ever be up at the top because he can sing, and when he gets on a record, he'll slay it. But like, I don't feel like he really has songs like that. He has a couple of bangers that we all know, but like also the category of music that he plays within, which I feel like his classification is neo soul. I don't know if people are really feeling that. I don't know if people were really ever feeling that in the way in which people were hoping. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want it so badly for neo soul to be the type of music that could really crack off and be really good, but it ended up not being that. I don't know. But I'm also thinking, like, within the neo soul community, who's really his competition? Like, is Anthony Hamilton neo soul? There's this other guy. I downloaded his music the other day. What's buddy's name? Jacob Banks. He has that type of voice that sounds like it would be in that category. I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know if Neo's better than him. You know, Jacob Banks, listen, let's give a shout out to him. This brother's voice sounds like he's calling the ancestors. That's how good he's singing, which is crazy. I didn't know who he was till my man Desmond. Shout out to my man DK back in Pensacola, Florida. Hella funny comedian. I don't know what else Desmond does. We gotta have him on the show one day. I might need to see if he's available to call in maybe on Thursday or something. But Desmond, he puts me on to all different types of new music, and he put me on to this Mercy record by Jacob Banks. Listen to Mercy by Jacob Banks. His voice will have you like, yeah, you're gonna be ready to go down to Selma and March or something. You're gonna be ready to go downtown just in Seattle to March or wherever you stay at. But yeah, he got that type of voice, man. But I don't know if he fits in that category as neo soul. What does his shit say? It says alternative. Like, I don't even think, yeah, is neo soul even like a category? Who's still falling under that? Or maybe they just call it R&B and soul, maybe? I don't know. I do not know. But shout out to Music Soul Child. Dope record. He made the Michael Jackson show tonight, and I'm proud of him. I don't normally play his type of stuff on here because I don't really feel like people really want to hear that. But at the same time, this ain't y'all show. It's my show. So you're going to hear whatever I want to play. I mean, shit, who did I play earlier? Who did I play? I said this was their first time on the show. Probably was going to be the last. I forget, but I was clowning somebody. And it's probably because their music is just okay. And that happens. Some of y'all ain't that damn good. Yo, welcome back to the Michael Jackson Show. If you're listening live on Track Talk Radio, I've been in here talking shit about neo soul R&B singers. Not talking shit, man. I just was asking, do we think Music Soul Child is somebody who's worthy of being considered one of the GOATs of R&B? And I just don't think that he is. And that ain't nothing against him. I just don't feel like people really take to his music like that. Some of it, yeah. Like, he's got what? Love is a good record. So Beautiful is a good record. He has cuts. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But most of them shits is just not that good. Like, I know Anthony Hamilton has tons of hits. But if you were to ask me, can I name a ton of Anthony Hamilton records? I would say Coming From Where I'm From. And after that, what does Anthony Hamilton be doing? But I know up here that my man can sing. There's no doubt about it. He has one of those types of voices. Classic. Who else? Name Raheem Devon. Do people know who that is? My buddy has one of the best voices I've ever heard. I know like 2 of his songs. Because he don't have, at least from what I've heard, I don't feel like he has that type of cut that make you want to go dance, but then when that song ends, it goes right into some like type of deep cut type of deal. And that's kind of what R&B music is. So when they fall into that category of where it's like strictly just soul music, all that, like sometimes that stuff don't be getting paid or played, excuse me. And so if the records aren't really getting played with a ton of frequency, depending on where you're at, you might not ever hear some of the content that these people put out. It's not to say that it's not good, but it's like I said, when I asked the question, do we think Music Soul Child is somebody who's worthy of being in the GOAT conversation for R&B? The answer is, more than likely it's no. I had to close the window, man. I always be cracking the window. Y'all know how I get down. It gets hot in here because I'm in here. I'm going to keep saying it. Like I said, I'm rebuilding my spirit. And I feel like I am actually looking good. I'm starting to kind of thin out on the face. That's what happens when you put the snacks down, boy. I don't feel as fat. You can't really tell because I got a black hoodie on. Black makes you look slim. I did that on purpose. Anyway, so back to the show. We did our quick little music update. Real quick on as far as music is concerned, we've seen a lot of people, especially a lot of black entertainers. A lot of people are dropping new heat. It just so happens that a lot of the music that they're dropping is all in regards to police brutality and things like that. I think it's dope. If you already had the songs, it's dope. But I'm also somebody that knows it don't take very long to make a song. And so some of it feels like these people, and I get it. You feel pain. This is the way to express your feelings. I think that is super dope. I just hope that some of these people aren't really just trying to like make money now and try to profit off the fact that we're all pissed off and irritated. Because I feel like that would be a little bit corny. But I also have heard a lot of these records, and I'm like, these songs don't have the strength to continue to carry themselves after all this type of stuff fizzles out. Because as far as like nationwide media attention, all that stuff is going to start to phase out within the next like week or so. Unless we are actually going to do what we always say we are going to do, which is keep our foot on their necks. Let's do it. We won't let this shit die. But it's still one of those things that the media is going to do everything they can to try to find other things to keep our minds occupied and keep the masses occupied. So then they're going to try to get us to go back down to just a small number of complaints versus everybody across the goddamn world complaining. And so then you're going to have to hope that if you created a song, I hope you put it out this week, because by next week that motherfucker may not be hot. People may not care about it because your song won't be relevant. Amongst the black community, you probably going to make a killing because we're going to ride for that forever. I still be listening to tracks from T.I. had a record. What was it? It's called Warzone. I still listen to that 2-3 times a week. And that's talking about this type of shit that we dealing with now. That record's like 3-4 years old. Or Usher has a record called Chains, which was like on the soundtrack to that 13th documentary that's on Netflix. I'm still listening to that. That's a crazy record that's hitting now. Like those types of records, I feel like can definitely last and through the test of time. And maybe these records will too, because unfortunately it's not like this type of stuff is ever going to stop. It's always going to be here because these people are making terrible, bad decisions that end up taking the lives of others. It's not cops per se. It's like these specific individuals. So you have to know that people are going to have mental breaks, especially while they're on the job. They're always going to hire people who are not actually cut out and or fit to be working with firearms amongst mass amounts of people. That's just the reality of it. They're always going to do that. And so it's just unfortunate that like the only time a lot of these people who are making music now will have these songs, be played and be remembered, it's going to be when somebody has to take the L, which is terrible. So, like I said, we were talking about music earlier, just got me thinking of all the songs that are being put out and dropped this week. Like I said, I've heard a lot of them. Some of them are okay, but some of them are like, depending on who the artist is, I'm like, bro, this is what you gave us? And you at home? Depending on which state you in, you're at home or you're at the studio 24 hours a day. This is the best that you could give us. Anyway. Let's see. What else do we have? All right, let's get into this, man. This is local. Manuel Ellis, R.I.P., bro. My man is from Tacoma. Apparently, he was involved in an altercation with police, and I think let me look this up. I want to give you the right dates and stuff, but where is my man's name at? We're going to talk about Manuel, and then we're definitely talking about our queen, Brianna. Beautiful Brianna. She ends up ends up dying, getting killed by police, and they haven't done shit about it. So let's see. Manuel was 33 years old. He died 3 months before all this stuff with George Floyd happened. But the death of George has kind of shined light on this case because people, I think, knew from jump and assumed that there were some inconsistencies within the statements that the cops made and the way they talked about how all this stuff happened. And then you hear new things coming out about it. And so George Floyd's death, very unfortunate, but it has shed light on this situation. So hopefully the family will actually get justice. And so Tacoma's mayor, Ms. Victoria Wooders, is calling for the 4 officers involved in Ellis's case to be fired and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Here's a quote. I am demanding tonight, and when was this? This is, hold up, I want to say, this is a couple days ago. But it says, I'm demanding that tonight that Pierce County Sheriff review and confirm every action taken by each officer. I demand that the sheriff provide details of the actions of each officer on the scene. She said in a statement, that's what she said when it aired last Thursday night. I am then directing the city manager to fire each officer involved. You don't see this happen too much. Most of the times people just come out and they say, we just need to have them suspended. And they try to do all the due diligence and try to do a million right things, which end up being wrong things before they actually do the right thing, which is, fire the person or actually bring them up on charges or whatever the case may be. So I guess this says that this will happen around March 3rd, around 11:30 p.m. Officers allege that they witnessed Ellis struggling to walk at an intersection of 96th Street and South Ainsworth Avenue. And then it says that the officers took Ellis into custody after he allegedly assaulted them. Officers gave statements and said that they didn't use excessive force, but they said that you could hear him on the police scanner saying that he couldn't breathe. So they obviously were using force of some sort. So when you hear the statements, it's clear that they were lying. They used force. He ended up dying. It's 4 of them involved. Like, listen, man, we don't need to pretend to be surprised in any type of way. Unfortunately, this is kind of how this shit goes, and this is just what they do. If you saw my man struggling, you ever wonder why when they see people struggling, why don't they do what they do when they see old people struggling across the fucking street? You just help them. And when you know they're across safely, you let them go on about their day. Why couldn't you do that with him? Now I know they're going to say, well, it's 11:30 at night and maybe he's in a bad area. And no, you stopped him because he was black. You didn't see him struggling. And even if you did, you still didn't just ask him if he was okay and then go on about your business because he was black. I'm going to say a name for y'all. I saw a video today. Shout out to my man, Molly Watkins. Molly Watkins is a 44-year-old man who is like he is a something to the nth degree black belt or something, karate master, jiu-jitsu master, some shit like that. Police are responding to a call that says Molly's in distress. But when the cop gets there, it's just him dancing in the street. He's just doing a workout. You literally watch the cop watch him on his body cam for like 45 seconds before he decides to go approach Mr. Watkins. He asks him his questions. He asks him what he's doing. Buddy says he's exercising. You can hear somebody from the other opposite side of the camera saying he does this every day. Somebody called the cops on him because they thought he was in distress. Cop shows up. Ask him a few questions. Molly lets him know, like, hey, my car is literally parked right over there. I live down the street. He says, why aren't you exercising on the sidewalk? Well, because the sidewalk is very narrow. It's a normal size sidewalk. And because of the routine, he's literally doing dance moves as a form of exercise. Because of what he's doing, it don't make no sense for him to stand on the sidewalk and do that if other people want to try to walk. He's literally standing. He's in front of what appears to be like a driveway, but you know how when you can parallel park on the street and they create the space for it? He's in that space, but it's in front of like what looks to be like some sort of like driveway that can, or like a fire hydrant or something to where it couldn't be blocked, and it allows him to have the space to not be on the sidewalk, but not actually be in the street while he's doing his dancing. And then eventually, what happens is, of course, another officer shows up. They ask him a couple of questions or clarifying questions, basically the same thing. And Molly he's letting them know, like, he's not doing anything. This should be a simple, like, oh, you're dancing in the street, which the officer sat there and watched him do for like a whole minute. Then when you ask him the questions, you ask if is he in distress? The second that he tells you no and he confirms it for you that he's not, you should leave him the fuck alone. That's not what happens, though. Of course, that's not what happens. Another officer shows up, and then 3 more officers show up, and then they're on the body cam, all 5 of them trying to, get Buddy on the ground. Because when he went to walk away, when he's not doing anything, mind his own business, he goes to walk away. Of course, what happens? The officer grabbed him, and then even before he walked away, Molly lets him know that he's not really in the mood to talk to them. And the first thing the officer says, well, since you don't want, basically he's saying, well, you don't want to talk to me, well, you're detained. And then as soon as Molly goes to walk away, then he grabs him, and then it's stop resisting and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro, y'all are hassling him for nothing. All he's doing is dancing in the middle of the street. This shit is crazy. Crazy shit. But do you see how they do? Was Manuel struggling? How do you know that? 11:30 at night, you're saying that you saw somebody struggling. What is struggling? What is struggling in their opinion? You don't be knowing, bro, because they just be making shit up. If the circumstances weren't suspicious, then the mayor wouldn't have to do what she has now done, which is call for them to be fired. They wouldn't have had to go back through and like look at paperwork again and review autopsies again. They wouldn't have to do none of that shit, bro. If y'all would just do the right thing the first time. Do the right thing the first time. We need to make sure that Manuel gets justice. Which brings me to Tamla Horsford. Apparently, Miss Tamla was at a sleepover. So attorneys believe that Tamla was killed after conducting their own investigation. So this is the attorney who's representing them. So this lady was found dead after attending an adult sleepover. And they believe that homicide is a strong possibility after conducting a review. This is the attorney conducted a review on his own. Tamla was a mother of 5, and she was found dead in the backyard in November of 2018 by one of the other party goers. Witness statements are in conflict. A potential subject handled the body as well as the evidence prior to law enforcement's arrival. Evidence was disposed of and no inquiry followed. The scene was not preserved. Evidence was inappropriately handled. This is crazy. A remarkable fact is that there were no photographs taken during the autopsy of Tamla's body. Such a practice is unheard of. So you mean to tell me that a doctor did an autopsy and didn't take any pictures? Now, I'm going to tell you this. I made a very, very quick snap judgment based on the photos that I see Tamla in. So I'm going to tell you there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They live in Georgia, okay? So this is in Georgia. Sorry, didn't mean to bump the microphone. They live in Georgia. Tamla's in a room surrounded by 7 white women. And apparently At this party, it was the 7 of them and then a handful of their husbands. Tamla's husband was not there. Somehow she ends up in the backyard dead under mysterious circumstances. They say that somehow her car ended up back at her house, but her body was found in the backyard at another house. So how does she move her car after she's dead? We're gonna keep looking into this. We're gonna stay on top of this, and hopefully we get some justice for Tamla, because apparently people want to play games, and they figured out how to play games and finesse this shit to the point where you might be looking at 7, maybe 10 people potentially walking away from a murder, and maybe even getting away with it. And they've probably been thinking this whole time that they did get away with it. Craziness. Murdered at a sleepover. She's a mother of 5. She had 5 kids. Like I said, her sitting in that photo with those people, bro, it don't even look good. Don't even look good, man. One of the few silver linings of Ahmaud, Brianna, and George is that now we're starting to look into some of these other cases and start to be like, look, were people playing games? Was there misconduct? Like, and this is going to be one hell of a time, because you're going to start to see them pop up all over the place. Like, I forget the young man's name, but there was a young kid who he was in high school, and they said he ended up getting killed by 2 of his classmates, and they rolled him up in a gym mat and da 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 da. And it ended up being one of the craziest cases like that year that it happened, and nothing was done. And like they had evidence, and that, like, how's he roll himself up in a mat? I think they ruled it as like a suicide or something crazy like that. Bro, they killed him. These boys killed him. They've just been walking free this whole time. So I think it's about time that we like put a stop to a lot of these people, because this shit is absolute madness. Our last 2 things. I'm glad about this. So last week I talked about how I thought it was very unfair and it's horrific that we had a police captain end up losing his life, unfortunately, while he was trying to protect a storefront during the looting and the rioting that took place last week. And he got killed by another black man. That is, well, at least they've arrested another black man. And that is sad as hell, man, because you have a former police captain who ends up dying at the hands of another black man, while black people and all types of other people are protesting for the rights of black people. So, retired police captain David Dorn, RIP Mr. Dorn, was shot and killed while trying to protect his friend's pawn shop amid violent protests in St. Louis. And now they have a 24-year-old man who has been charged in the fatal shooting. So this happened outside of Lee's Pawn and Jewelry. And then Dorn's final moment, they were streamed on Facebook Live. So they had the whole thing. So apparently the young man has been identified as Stephen Cannon. Has since been charged with first-degree murder and is being held without bond. This is crazy, bro. So it says, in a video obtained by police, Cannon walked up to the street corner. So hold on, let me read this. So I guess Cannon was captured on surveillance footage he was stealing TVs from the store. And then when Dorn, who often checked on the business when alarms went off, when he arrived, Cannon emerged with the guns. So this fucking idiot was out there stealing TVs while people are protesting to make sure that he's able to keep his life. The TVs are more important than his own life. That's how he sees it in those moments. It's crazy. And then because a guy's trying to do a favor for a friend, here's the alarm going off, goes down there to protect it. Then all of a sudden, buddy gets shot. He gets killed on Facebook Live. This is crazy, bro. All because him and some other idiot named Jimmy Robinson, who had also been arrested and charged for burglarizing the store, and his bond was set at $30,000. But these fucking goofs wanted to steal TVs and rob the store. And then they shot this guy. I don't even know what else to say, honestly, man. This shit is crazy because just thinking about the circumstances, it's like, bro, you literally have people who are walking around protesting for the right for you to live, and you're stealing TVs, bro. TVs are cheap. I got a 55-inch TV in here. $250. That's not even a lot of money, bro. Can you imagine throwing your life away for $250? Taking another life and throwing your life away for $250. Can't make excuses, and I definitely would not. But this shit is crazy, man. Ruining multiple lives for a couple of TVs. TVs, bro. TVs. From a pawn shop, too. And they're not brand new TV. It's a used TV, so it's less than that. You're literally out there stealing used TVs, bro. It's just crazy. People just act so dumb. Anyway, RIP Mr. Dorn. Sorry, sir. We had people that were standing up for your rights. The young man who killed you, people were out there standing up for his rights. And rather than him just, relax and go home and, do the right fucking thing, he want to be a goofy. And then he ended up shooting you all over some damn TVs. You deserve better. So unfortunate. Our last thing, man, today, because people have been asking me about this shit. We want to talk about Marky Mark. Back when Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark, this is how we used to make the party start. We used to mix in with Bacardi Dark, and when it kicks in, you can hardly talk. And by the sixth, let me stop, man. That's that old Eminem. Mark Wahlberg, man. You know what's crazy? I don't want to use past tense. Over the years, I have been a fan of Mark Wahlberg. I think he's a good actor. I like his movies. I like he plays a very similar role in most, if not all, of his movies. He plays the role of the action guy. He's usually the guy who's punching motherfuckers out, and he does all of that. Mark is like an action guy. He's not like an Oscar winning type of actor or anything. Also, by the way, I'm watching Hostage with Bruce Willis. It's an old school movie. But Mark is not. He's an okay guy, and Mark has been in the game for some years. Apparently, on Mark's Wikipedia page, there was a whole section called hate crimes, and apparently, in the late '80s, Mr. Wahlberg was involved in several altercations with African Americans as well as some Vietnamese folks, where he did some stuff, some racial stuff. Let's go. I want to pull it up. So where is this shit at? And I remember when I was reading it, I was very shocked. And more so just shocked of like how did this kind of like I never heard about this and literally until today. And then don't let me forget that I got to drag Tucker Carlson because he's a fucking goof. I know I have this shit saved somewhere because this shit had me dying laughing. Actually, not what he did. Obviously, that's terrible. But it was funny because this is Mark Wahlberg. I never would have guessed it. Fuck, I must not have saved it. Trying to remember correctly. Apparently, he threw rocks at people. He, used some slurs. Definitely called some black folks the N word. Like just wild, radical type of stuff. Was convicted of these things. So, like on his Wikipedia page, apparently there was like a whole section just for hate crimes. Like literally like a tab for that shit. And then this all came about when he sent a tweet in support of Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. And then people were like, but my man, ain't you this guy? Now, people were asking me, how do I feel now? And do I think Mark Wahlberg should be canceled? This is my whole thing on Mark. What does it do now? Because the one thing that you would be hoping for when you cancel a person is that it halts their opportunity for like monetary gain. Which it would probably stop some of his money, but like at this point, your man's already rich. He's already had a superb career. Sounds like something's in the ceiling. But anyway, Buddy's already had such a superb career. What can you really do to Mark Wahlberg? And there's legitimately something either crawling on the roof or they're like in the attic. Huh. Very interesting. Maybe my house is haunted. I don't know. Maybe we should just start doing like ghost hunters on this shit. But either way, canceling Mark Wahlberg, what does that do now? My man's got a Jordan sponsorship. Like literally like family owns a restaurant. He's done TV shows. He's been in 3,000 fucking movies. Like what would be the point of canceling him? Also, do we know if maybe Mark has adjusted his views on some of this stuff? Like that's what I thought was crazy is because Mark don't even really look like the type who's on that type of shit. But maybe that's the whole thing is they want to have that perfect cover. And they want to make you feel safe and they want to lull you to sleep with oh, we're good guys and da da da. I don't know, man. I just think what's the point now? He's already rich, he's already famous. I don't think canceling him does anything. Canceling him don't do nothing. Plus, if we cancel Mark Wahlberg, then why haven't we canceled Justin Bieber? And then when we go to cancel him, why haven't we canceled, I don't know, name somebody else who got caught doing some crazy shit that we all didn't approve? Like you just have to go through and cancel everybody. So I will say this: what's her name? What's the young black queen? Jess Hilarious. I don't think she's funny at all. She's not funny at all. But I feel like what she said kind of has some weight. Where she said, like, look, if we cancel everybody, we're not gonna have nobody left. I get that. But if y'all cancel all those people, you'll have me. It's not good. It's not great, but it's okay. Not a bad substitute. But either way, I think she's kind of right. Like everybody has like dumb shit that they've done. They've all been a part of some bullshit. Man, like you could go back and you could look at some of the how I tweeted and some of the things that I used to say and complain about was crazy, man. Like I've literally been on the show where I told you like I used to say not fuck, not that F word, but like me and my friends, we used to say the F word because not thinking of it, because it's just something that we all used to say to each other, not thinking about the type of devastation that it would do to an entire community. Because those are times that before we were educated, what made me want like give that shit up is when my mom called me and she came out to me as gay. And then we had a whole conversation around it. And she was telling me how uncomfortable it made her. And then she compared it to things like, well, remember how mad you used to get when kids would call you the N-word and all that type of stuff? Think about how that hurt, how it made you feel, how you shed tears over that. Now think about how people feel when you say these types of words. And you know what? Never again after that. Sometimes you got to learn hard lessons. I get it. It happens. Am I a bad person forever because I used to say certain things? No, I don't think so. Bro, it sounds like something's in the freaking wall, bro. I'm on the show going crazy. I know y'all can fucking hear that. That shit's loud. But anyway, like I said, it's like if we cancel everybody, you're not gonna have anybody left. Everybody has stuff. Now, obviously, there's a difference between like saying some crazy stuff and then being a part of situations where you were causing physical harm towards people based on their race, religion, creed, sexual orientation, all that. Yes, I get it. There's a big, big, big difference. But again, everybody is always on board with like the idea of second chances because that shit is important. You want to give people that right. Like, has that opportunity been afforded to the people that we speak of? For some of these people, it feels like it has been. Because, like, I seen that video with Justin Bieber. I thought that shit was crazy. But, like, there's a lot of people that's like, nah, we fuck with him because he fucks with us. I'm like, bro, really? And then what's the one thing they say? Oh, he was young. He just didn't know. And then he got educated. And then people were praising him this week for coming out saying that he's been eating off the culture and this and that. Like, oh, he's finally admitting it. And I'm like, we all knew that he was doing that. None of us are stupid. We're not stupid people. Shit is just weird. I don't know. Do you go out of your way to, cancel a Mark Wahlberg or, whoever's doing all this stuff? Is that what we want to do? I really don't know. I'm more interested in canceling people like Tucker Carlson, motherfuckers like that. Because I feel like with the things that he says and he does, like, let's see. Here's just a quote for him. This may be a lot of things, this movement we are living through, but it is definitely not about Black lives. And remember that when they come for you. And at this rate, they will. Talking about Black people coming for white people. I don't know. I don't watch the news too often. I saw this video and I listened to him kind of like go in and give his little rant. And the whole time I'm just like you can only really sit there and just laugh at how stupid some of these people are. This is a white guy who gets paid to literally be on TV and talk to potentially millions of people on a daily basis. They trust him to go out and advise the people or be the face of advisement for people. But look at the shit that he says. Let's play it. I'm gonna just play it.
Show weakness of any kind, they will crush you. Ask Drew Brees. By some accounts, poor Drew Brees is on his fourth apology for the crime of defending the American. Shadow of a doubt is central to the life prospects of children. They try to make Black neighborhoods as safe as their own neighborhoods. They would close the payday lenders that add so much misery to the lives of poor people of all colors. But they don't even consider doing any of this. They don't even try. Instead, they encourage theft and mayhem as if that will help. It will not help.
Are we encouraging theft and mayhem?
A lot of things, this moment we're living through, but it is definitely not about Black lives. And remember that when they come for you, and at this rate, they will. Anyone who's ever been subjected to the rage of the mob knows the feeling. It's like being swarmed by hornets. You cannot.
The mob is black people.
And the temptation is to panic, but you can't panic. You've got to keep your head and tell the truth. Tell the truth. If you show weakness of any kind, they will crush you. Ask Drew Brees. By some accounts, poor Drew Brees, he decided to apologize. Now they're using him as a propaganda organ. Hostage tape after hostage tape. At a moment like this, there is no advantage in cowardice, in being Mitt Romney. You think you're saving yourself. You're just empowering the worst people who hate you. Before you know it,
black people, the worst people.
Don't start. Tell the truth. And the truth is, this is a good country back. He decided to apologize.
So again, the mob, and this is just basically how I interpret it. I could be completely wrong. But it sounded like when he was saying things like the mob, he was talking about black people or the worst kind of people and that we're going to come for them and this and that. Tuck. Come on, Tuck. Don't you think that if we wanted to come for y'all that we would have already done that? Fam, just based on your haircut alone, you would have already been rushed on the street. What you mean, bro? You think that all of this is a setup for us to like come for y'all? You don't think that people hadn't already thought about that? Believe it or not, if there was I'm gonna paint you a picture. Just imagine this. Everything that I'm about to say is hypothetical. It's not real. I'm not hoping for any of this to happen, but I'm just telling you what we potentially could do just if we could get people just to work together. Could you imagine? And I want to talk about just minorities, Latinos, blacks, Asians. This is everybody but white people. If we could get everybody to work together, don't you think that we would have found a way just to get the gangs, to all shake hands, call a truce, and be cool? Just with the gangs alone, even just with the black ones, Bloods, Crips, all the 1.5 million variations of, all these different types of gangs. Imagine if you could get all of them to work together. Add in Latino Kings, MS-13. Like if you start treat it like a gumbo pot, you start throwing all these different gangs in. Do you not realize that if all those people wanted to work together and if they were really that tired of white people, that they probably could go in and just clean everybody up? Don't you think they could do that? Nobody's asking for that. Nobody wants that to happen. Sure, people make jokes on the internet, but in no way, shape, or form are we asking for our people to put themselves on the line by going out and just attacking y'all. That don't do nothing. That don't help us progress forward. All that shit that my man was saying is just all bullshit and lies. That's somebody that get paid big time money to be on TV, lying and carrying on and being a freaking idiot. They pay that person to talk like that and to be crazy and to talk about us as if we are the scum of the earth. The mob. Now we're a mob. What's the mob? You mean that all those people who are just walking down the street with signs that they want Black Lives to matter and they want people to get treated right in regards to how they're handled by police and things like that? That's the mob that you speak of? Those are the worst kind of people, not the ones that are like we've seen today, where we have a video of people who are involved in law enforcement participating in reenactments of George Floyd's death in order to prove a point to protesters that are walking down their streets. You have white people pretending to take knees on other people's necks to be like, see, my friend's not dying. Well, you're not trying to kill your friend. So of course your friend is not dying. You have people participating in that. But you think that we're the worst kind of people. You have people. I literally saw a video the other day of a person getting out of their truck, pulling a chainsaw off the back of their truck, starting it and waving it at people who were just walking down the street in the town that he lived in, saying that they think that Black lives should matter. You know how crazy and fucked in the head you got to be to go to the back of your truck and be like, you know what? I'm tired of seeing your little signs and seeing all you people complain. Here's this chainsaw. You know how crazy that is? Cranked it up and everything. Didn't just pull it out for show. He turned it on. Probably planning to use it on somebody, anybody that got too close to him, because he's so mad about how things are going right now. But black people are the worst kind of people. Is this thing on? Black people are the worst kind of people. The mob. This may be a lot of things, this moment we are living through, but it's definitely not about Black lives. And remember that when they come for you. And at this rate, they will. I'm going to only speak for myself, but I have no plans to come for y'all. I've made it very clear and said on this show a handful of times. I'm anti-violent. Anti-violence. Do I want it to happen? No. Will I participate if you bring these problems my way? Absolutely. There's a difference between anti-violence and non-violent. Non-violent means that you want no problems ever, no beef ever. Nah. If you bring it here, we're ready. But other than that, I personally have zero desire to go out of my way to inflict any type of harm on any type of people. Why would I do that? How does that help further our cause and help continue to spread our message if all we're looking to do is go out and exact revenge? If we wanted to do that, we would not have waited until 2020 to do so. You don't wait until security is tighter than ever and there's cameras everywhere. You don't wait until then to try to get your revenge. We would have literally done it the night after y'all beat the shit out of Rodney King. That's when it probably would have been the best time to happen. Because the 90s was kind of lit. There would have still been video so we could remember it through history, but there wouldn't have been enough to convict every single person involved. If we wanted to rush y'all, people probably would have done it then, but that's what they decided they didn't want to do that because there's no point in that. That doesn't help further the cause. It doesn't help put us in a position to actually get real change. So all the stuff that, sorry ass Tucker Carlson is saying that black people are trying to do, man, that's not what they're trying to do. But this is exactly the type of bullshit that keeps the divide in place. Because I know white folks watch this show and they're probably sitting there eating their toast or doing whatever it was they were doing while they're watching and being like, yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. Look at all these animals. They're tearing our city apart. And for what? Because one black guy died? They could have just let him die and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But now look at him. Now I can't even go to Target. And everything's boarded up. My favorite shops, I can't even look into the windows anymore because these disgraceful Negroes, they're just going crazy. They're animals. Let the animals kill each other. People like this fucking guy are able to help keep people in those types of mindsets. This shit is crazy. Like I said, man, most, if not all, respectable black people and the ones who have a lot of self-respect and respect for their own people, they don't care nothing about going after any of y'all. There's no point in that. Going after you does nothing for us. Unless you mean that when we say we're coming for you, it means that we're coming for these positions. We're going to try to put our people in those seats where they're judges. Legislation, all of that, corporate positions, all that's what we're coming for. Seats at the fucking table to where you can no longer push us to the side and dismiss our ideas in the ways in which we want to affect change for our people. You're no longer going to tell us how to live as people. That's the type of shit that we're coming for. We ain't coming to hurt y'all, man. We're coming to actually put some balance within our fucking world. Make some of this shit, though, in the same way in which it's easy as hell for y'all, we want to try to make this shit a little bit easier for us. And the way in which we want to start is that we want to start by limiting the opportunities for police to kill us. That way we can go to that meeting that's going to be in that boardroom in front of all those important people. So we can spill our guts with this great, fantastic idea that's going to take our company or even maybe take your company to the next level. And we're expecting full credit for it. This is no longer going to be a situation where you guys get to step on our necks and take credit for all the great, wonderful things that we do and then try to tell us how to live as people. That's no longer going to happen. You're seeing a change in time. Things are changing. People are changing. Shit. I feel it even within myself. I know that I'm different. I will never be the same person that I once was. It's not going to happen. And I know a lot of my friends feel the same exact way. No matter what their color, a lot of people feel differently now. A lot of us are changed. Things are different. They are going to be different. Buckle up. That's the end of my show. We're going to let this music rock for about a minute and a half. And you know what the song is? It's Plies, baby. Street Light. That's a classic record. Let it run. The stream is over, man. I'm out. I'll see y'all on Thursday.